Comic book fans are passionate about nearly everything having to do with their beloved stories, so it's no surprise that even those who direct comic book movies are subject to some backseat driving from fans. But sometimes directors make some truly weird decisions while bringing comic book movies to life. Depth and dimensionality are classic ways to add interest to a character, and taking a superhero down a bad path is one way of accomplishing that. Unfortunately, that didn't work out too well in Spider-Man 3, which saw bad Spidey sporting an all-black suit and, we're guessing, listening to the Cure and Joy Division while moping around his candlelit basement bedroom off-screen. For those familiar with big Hollywood directors, Brett Ratner's name isn't likely to inspire a lot of affection or respect. This guy just does what he wants, including killing off huge swaths of beloved characters, as he did in X-Men: The Last Stand in his first turn as a franchise director. Christopher Nolan tends to get carte blanche with his Batman adaptations, but more than a few fans noticed how silly it was that Bane was so hard to understand in The Dark Knight Rises. Besides the fact that the film was also a complete letdown, Bane isn't remembered fondly because of his performance, but more so all the jokes people make about his voice. Perhaps worse than an unintelligible bad guy is an intangible one. There were a lot of issues with Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, but perhaps worst of all is the fact that Galactus, one of the biggest and baddest space villains in the Marvel Universe, was reduced to vapor form. George Clooney is lucky to have escaped Batman and Robin with his dignity, because all of his international political efforts might be for naught if the image of his batsuit, which prominently and proudly featured nipples for some inexplicable reason, were more closely associated with his image. It's probably a good thing that costume covered most of his face. Superman is super because of his amazing alien powers, but he's also a good guy, someone who can be counted on to treat his great power with great responsibility. These are values he learned as a child growing up in the Midwest, but Zack Snyder decided to focus on familiar images relating to the titular Man of Steel rather than his personality, bringing to life a Superman that is more steely than super.